Samsung launched the Galaxy S25 in February 2025 with the Snapdragon 8 Elite processor and an $800 starting price. 7 months later, they released the Galaxy S25 FE for $650, marketed as the affordable entry point to the S25 experience. Both phones share Galaxy AI features, similar cameras, and 7 years of software support. The $150 price difference suggests meaningful compromises, but Samsung positioned the S25 FE as more than a budget alternative. It launched with Android 16 and One UI 8 before the flagship S25 received the update. It includes a larger battery, faster charging, and a bigger display. On paper, the S25 FE doesn't just undercut the S25 on price, it actually improves certain specs. We'll determine whether those improvements justify buying the cheaper phone, or if Samsung's compromises in processor, display technology, and build quality make the S25 worth the premium. Processing power reveals the most significant technical divide. The Galaxy S25 runs the Snapdragon 8 Elite processor custom-tuned for Galaxy, with 12 GB RAM. This chip delivers flagship performance with exceptional power efficiency. PhoneArena battery testing shows 7 hours 6 minutes overall battery estimate, 18 hours 29 minutes video playback, and 12 hours 20 minutes gaming. The vapor chamber is 15% larger than the S24 series for improved thermal management during sustained workloads. The S25 FE uses the Exynos 2400 processor with 8 GB RAM, the same chip that powered the international S24 and S24 Plus models. Testing from Tom's Guide and PhoneArena shows it handles everyday tasks smoothly with no noticeable lag during typical usage. Samsung included a 10% larger vapor chamber compared to the S24 FE for better cooling. But PhoneArena battery testing recorded 6 hours 59 minutes overall, 15 hours 3 minutes video, and 10 hours 27 minutes gaming, measurably worse than the S25 across every metric. Reviews from Android Authority and trusted reviews note the Exynos 2400 has improved significantly from previous generations and competes reasonably well with flagship Snapdragon chips. But Exynos carries a reputation for inconsistent performance and thermal management that Snapdragon simply doesn't have. The 4 GB RAM difference matters for AI processing running in the background. 12 GB provides headroom the S25 FE's 8 GB configuration lacks. Display quality shows Samsung making specific trade-offs to hit the S25 FE's price point. Both phones feature 6.7-inch and 6.2-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X displays, respectively, with 120Hz refresh rates and HDR10+ support. But the S25 uses LTPO technology, allowing dynamic refresh rate adjustments from 1Hz to 120Hz based on content, improving power efficiency. The S25 FE lacks LTPO and runs at fixed refresh rates. Testing from Tom's Guide measured peak brightness at 1656 nits for the S25 FE compared to significantly higher brightness on the S25. Android Authority specifically called out the S25 FE's dimmer display as a meaningful downgrade affecting outdoor visibility. Both displays offer 1080p resolution, though the S25 can be manually switched to 1440p QHD+ for sharper text and images, an option the S25 FE doesn't provide. Camera systems appear nearly identical on paper but reveal subtle differences in execution. The S25 features a 50-megapixel main camera, 12-megapixel ultra-wide, and 10-megapixel telephoto with 3 times optical zoom. The S25 FE uses the same 50-megapixel main and 12-megapixel ultra-wide, but downgrades to an 8-megapixel telephoto, the same sensor from the S24 FE. Both phones include Samsung's ProVisual Engine for AI-powered image processing, though Android Authority notes the S25 receives the next-gen ProVisual Engine with improved processing algorithms. Trusted reviews testing found camera quality between the phones minimal in good lighting, with the S25 producing slightly sharper telephoto shots due to the higher resolution sensor. Tom's Guide confirmed the S25 FE holds its own against flagship competitors in most scenarios. Battery life creates one of the few areas where the S25 FE actually improves on the flagship. The S25 FE includes a 4,900 mAh battery compared to the S25's 4,000 mAh, 900 mAh more capacity. But PhoneArena's real-world testing shows the S25 delivered better overall battery life despite the smaller battery due to superior power efficiency from the Snapdragon processor and LTPO display technology. Tom's Guide testing showed the S25 FE lasting 9 hours 46 minutes on their web surfing battery test, more than an hour worse than the average smartphone and significantly behind the S25's 15+ hour result. The reviewer specifically called battery life the biggest strike against Samsung's latest FE. Charging speed favors the S25 FE. It supports 45-watt super-fast charging 2.0, while the S25 maxes out at 25 watts. In practice, the S25 FE charges noticeably faster despite having a larger battery to fill. Build quality and materials show clear cost-cutting measures. The S25 uses Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on the front and back with an aluminum frame. The S25 FE uses Gorilla Glass Victus Plus, 1 generation older, offering slightly less drop and scratch protection. Both phones are IP68 water and dust resistant. The S25 measures 6.2 inches and weighs 162 grams. The S25 FE stretches to 6.7 inches but weighs 190 grams. Android Authority specifically mentioned preferring the S25's lighter weight for reducing wrist strain during extended use. The larger S25 FE appeals to users who prefer bigger screens, but the weight penalty is real. Connectivity reveals where Samsung cut features to reach the S25 FE's price. The S25 includes Wi-Fi 7, ultra-wideband support, and USB 3.2 Gen 1 speeds through the USB-C port. The S25 FE downgrades to Wi-Fi 6E, lacks ultra-wideband entirely, and limits USB-C to USB 2.0 speeds. Trusted Reviews and NotebookCheck both noted these connectivity downgrades as meaningful compromises for tech enthusiasts and professionals who transfer large files regularly. Both phones support Samsung DeX desktop mode. The S25 FE launched with Android 16 and One UI 8, making it the first S25 series phone to receive the latest software, though the rest of the lineup received the update within weeks. The S25 FE's unexpected strength is value perception. Android Authority's review noted that for buyers prioritizing screen size and battery capacity over raw performance, the S25 FE delivers flagship features at a genuinely lower price. The larger display, faster charging, and Android 16 launch make it feel premium despite the Exynos processor. The S25's honest limitation is charging speed. At 25 watts maximum, it charges slower than mid-range competitors and takes approximately 90 minutes for a full charge. For a flagship phone in 2026, that's disappointing. Let's address cost. The Samsung Galaxy S25 sells for $800 new for 128 gigabytes. The Galaxy S25 FE costs $650 new for 128 gigabytes. That's a $150 difference, with the FE being cheaper while offering a larger display and bigger battery. The Samsung Galaxy S25 wins this comparison. It costs $150 more but delivers the Snapdragon 8 Elite processor with superior performance and power efficiency. 12 GB RAM versus 8 GB for better AI processing and multitasking. LTPO display technology with higher peak brightness and 1440p resolution capability. Significantly better real-world battery life despite smaller battery capacity. Next-gen ProVisual Engine for improved camera processing, and higher-resolution telephoto camera for sharper zooms. Multiple professional reviews from Tom's Guide, Android Authority, and Trusted Reviews position the S25 as the better overall phone worth the premium. The Galaxy S25 FE makes sense for budget-conscious buyers who prioritize screen size over performance. Anyone who wants Samsung's latest software and Galaxy AI features at a lower entry price. Users who prefer larger phones and value 45-watt fast charging, and shoppers finding the S25 FE on sale significantly below its $650 retail price. If you can find it for $500 or less through carrier deals, the value equation shifts meaningfully. But the S25 is the better smartphone for most buyers in 2026. The Snapdragon processor alone justifies the premium. Exynos carries too much baggage around inconsistent performance and thermal management. The superior display technology, better battery efficiency, and premium materials create a more refined daily experience. Android Authority specifically noted that for just $70 more during sales, the S25 delivers so much more value that the FE becomes hard to recommend at full price. Links to both the Samsung Galaxy S25 and Galaxy S25 FE are in the description below. If you want more smartphone comparisons that break down real performance differences, subscribe. We're using professional testing data and actual reviews, not just marketing specs. The Galaxy S25 wins on processor, display, and overall refinement. The S25 FE wins if you prioritize screen size and find it heavily discounted. Choose based on whether Snapdragon reliability matters more than saving $150 on a phone you'll use daily for years.